Hi everyone, welcome back to Investing for Income. Today I'll be reviewing my positions in my Roth IRA account where I'm trying to beat SPY with covered calls. So let's get right to it. I'm following this beat SPY strategy, essentially trying to generate income from selling SPY covered calls and keeping 100 shares of SPY. And I started on the 31st of January, and I'm trying to get the 6 to 10% additional income on top of whatever SPY will do in the next 11 months. So I'm using any leftover cash to buy high dividend stocks, Starwood and Rhythm. That has not been doing too well, but it's not relevant to our experiment, so I will mostly ignore these. Okay, so last week, this was my position. I had 100 shares of SPY, and I had one short covered call expiring on March 17th. So the expiration is here in the symbol. So it's essentially expiring 1 week from Friday. And the question is, should I stay or should I roll? So let's take a look at the call as of Friday. I think this was around 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So you can see the call is trading at 14 cents. And so there is really not much value left in the option. So I would, if I hold the option for another week, I would make $13, which is very little. So let's see if we can do better. I'm looking at two possible choices here. So since SPY on Friday traded really, really low, uh, I don't want to roll into the same strike price. I want to go a little bit lower, but at the same time, I don't want to go too low in case SPY rebounds. So I was looking at the strike prices of 407 and expiration of March 23rd and March 24th and March 31st. So that's 1 week from Friday, or this is extra week from the previous option, right? So it would be 2 weeks from Friday, and this is 3 weeks from Friday. So this would give me additional 2 weeks of expiration. And between the two, it's a toss-up. I am hoping that SPY will go up, so I don't want to go actually too far, with the expiration. So let's see what I decided to do. So I decided to roll. Anyway, so I just extended the expiration by another week so instead of expiring March 17, the option will expire on March 24th. And instead of the strike price of 410, I went a little bit lower. A little bit lower was about 407. And so this will give me a credit of a little over $58. It's not kind of good enough, really, with the gains I'm targeting. But at this point, I really want to be conservative because I'm really hoping and expecting that SPY will bounce up. So I don't want to have the strike price too low. Anyway, so this is how I rolled it. So the net credit of 59 cents, but after all the fees and commissions, it came out to a little over $58. So pretty good. Here is the trade. So I asked for it to be executed at 59 cents. You can see the options, SPY options are awesome because there is just a 1 cent spread. Bid is 13 cents and ask 14 cents. And for the other leg, bid is 72 cents and ask is 73 cents. It's just 1 penny difference. So that's really easy to trade. You don't have to worry too much about setting limit orders and stuff. But I just prefer limit orders myself. So I picked the middle between, the bid and ask for the roll was 58 cents and 60 cents. So I picked the middle, 59 cents. And actually, it got executed fairly quickly. I didn't have to wait that long. So a good thing about Fidelity was that they didn't charge me normally the commission is 65 cents, but because I was covering a call that is relatively cheap, or short position that is relatively cheap, so to buy back the position, they didn't charge me those 65 cents. I know it's a little, but it adds up when you have more than one option. If it was just one option, it doesn't make a big difference. Here are the trades, right? So on the 310, I bought to close the old call expiring on the 17th of March and for 13 cents. And I sold to open another call expiring 1 week later and slightly lower strike price for 72 cents. So that gave me some credit. And I essentially decided to keep track of just the SPY calls because it's easier. The rhythm and Starwood were kind of taking away from the focus of this campaign. Really, I just want to see if I can beat SPY. That's, I mean, I know I can beat it, but every month, every year is different. So let's see if I can beat it this year. Anyhow, so right now, with the first call option, we got $317 and didn't have to spend anything to get it back because it expired. With the second call option that I sold, we got $344 and I bought it back for 13, so that's a pretty good gain. And now the third call option that I sold, we sold it only for $71. Uh, Again, it's relatively cheap, but I just did not want to take my chances to buy too much, lower strike price. So the current positions are here, SPY, 100 shares, short call, and plus some shares of Rhythm and Starwood. So let's take a look at how did the market, which means SPY really tracks the market, how it went last week. And honestly, it was brutal. So last week is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is essentially these 5 candles, right? And you can see we started, everything looked good, and all of a sudden we got this huge drop. And how huge? On a weekly chart, you can see this weekly candle is really big. And in fact, last week I was talking about the outside candle, and you can see here in October, right, there was an outside candle going up, and it was the beginning of a pretty extended move up in the market, right? On the other hand, this candle, this is also outside candle, and the market looked promising, but unfortunately, after 2.5 days, everything looked good, and then things got turned around. So this outside day is no longer valid, and in fact, the market does not look good. So on a weekly chart, see, we got the outside candle on a weekly chart, which again can mean that the market will go even lower or might not, but there is a good chance actually that the market will go even lower where it is now. So this is why I rolled the calls to another week later to get at least some premium out of the market move instead of holding to the option that I had. So here's performance over time. This is just an Excel table, doesn't really show much. Just you can just look at the bottom here. The profits from the call, from selling the short calls, are pretty good. A little over $650, and we still have been investing for only a month and a half, right? So in a month and a half, I made about 1.5%, a little bit more. So, that's pretty good, but I am afraid the rate is not sustainable, that eventually, there will be months when we cannot make 1% extra for that month. Okay, so this is more interesting. This is the chart over time. The yellow part is the call plus cash. This is the extra stuff that I do in addition to having just 100 shares of SPY. And you can see at the beginning we were losing some money, but now the position is quite profitable. And Unfortunately, the market has not been doing well. So SPY, which is the blue, it has, the last week, it essentially tanked. Even the profits from the calls are not enough to keep the account value positive. So, SPY plus the short calls are still losing quite a bit of money, over $1,000. But the calls are at least helping. So what are the plans for next week? So as usual, I will monitor the position just in case there are some really large moves. Usually, I don't expect really anything next week. I'm hoping, I'm hoping that SPY will move up a little bit, but I don't expect anything big. I'll watch the calls, and if they're at the money, I'll just keep them one more week. But if they're out of the money, I might roll them to another week later, depending on the strike prices, the delta, and the theta of the options. And if in the money on Friday, I will definitely roll them to at the money because I don't want the market to run away from me too much. But again, I don't really expect the market to go up that high. So SPY on Friday traded all the way to $385 or 386, say. And our call is at 407. So 86 to 407, that's 16 plus 5, another percent. So let's say a little over $20. That's 5% away from, this 407 strike price is 5% away from the value of SPY, which is quite far. Normally, I try to go between 2 and 3%, but I just feel uncomfortable lowering the strike price too much. So this week we're not going to make that much money. Hopefully, things will pick up as time goes by. Thank you for watching. If you like my presentations, please like the video and sign up or subscribe to our channel, and make sure to check our option school. There are a couple good videos on theta and time value, and I think you're going to like them. Until next time, happy trading.